Hey guys, okay, it's Shante Brown Sugar Talk under Black Unicorns, and I'm writing a book for me and Blake. So it's a book from me and Blake because again it's racial healing. So today I'm gonna talk about idea 4. It's green benign racism, and really all you're doing is, like I said, going through the cycle of socialization. So at the core you ask yourself, okay, what is my fear? If it's something about ignorance, like what am I ignorant about? I was just like looking at this thing, this meme. It's like this short guy, and the man is like, are you racist? And the man like, nah, I ain't racist. So he say, name some Asians. And so I mean, people might be laughing, but the dude is actually correct. Like he was like, Africans, you know what I'm saying? He was like Indians. He was like naming all types of other cultures, and it's like he was like, so when you say Asians, what you talking about? The truth is that it's not funny because it's the truth. Like it's like it might be stupid to somebody, but it's the truth. It's like Africans can be Indian and Asian. Some Asians are derived from Africa. Some Indians are derived from Asia and Africa. So it's like in that construct, all three of those cultures can be each other. Y'all understand? Some Africans can be Asian, and it depends on what continent they are on. So it's like since they are all connected, Africa, Asia, and India are connected. Then if they cross over into cultures, it's because they crossed into each other's continent. So it's just like how we have St. Louis, Missouri, and East St. Louis, Illinois. It's like they cross back and forth. So even though we not the same culture, we share cultures. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like some Asian people like, nah, I'm African. You know what I'm saying? Depending on where they grew up at, they really are African. If that was the basis of their culture, they African. It don't matter what they look like. The culture is what defines who they are, because that's what they know. That is what they are comfortable with. If they were in India and they were born in an Asian community, you see what I'm saying? Then they are Asian. Like you can't stop. It's just like her. Like even though we come from where we come from, I'm still American. So it's like the culture defines who I am. I'm Black American. My son is African American. So it's like the culture actually defines who that person is. And so sometimes it's like so messed up because people be like, oh, nah, you can't look at you. You a one, you Chinese, and all this different stuff. And it's like they actually are from Africa. So that's when people have to really start to think about that. Like, so when they have children, what do they choose? Well, we still gonna call them Asian, not Asian African or African Asian, whatever they want to call themselves. They don't necessarily have to be mixed with that culture. It's just with the skin tone or the person or whatever. It's like that's actually where they are from. So it's like crazy. Like you'll be like, oh no, you from Africa. You know what I'm saying? I'm not from Africa. I'm from America. So it's like they say the same thing. I'm not from Asia. I'm from Africa, or I'm from India. You see, or I'm from you see. So you look at a person and that's what you want them to be, and it's like that's not the truth. Like some Africans know Chinese and Japanese or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So it's Korean, Vietnamese. It's because of where they grow up. So you can't just always think that that's true. So it's like when he was speaking, he was right. So that's something else. It's like, so this is something that will help you get over it because you see the video and you think it's a joke, and it's actually not a joke. The man is telling the truth. Even though it's like it's from his ignorance, he's actually telling the truth. And so that would make him not racist. He was telling the truth. He is not racist. Like, he doesn't even understand what racism is. So this man has no issues with racism at all. That's the joke. Like, it's like, he wouldn't try to be. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It's like that's not even a issue that he would have in his life. You see what I'm saying? He don't know what he's talking about. And it's better for him. Sometimes in that case, ignorance is bliss. What are some ideas that are confusing? So that's something else. Like, I looked it up before the show, and I actually closed it because I didn't want to explain it to you. But I was looking it up, and you could just put it in the computer. What part of Africans are Asian? What part of Asians are African? What part of Indians are Asian? You see what I'm saying? And it'll tell, like, the computer will tell you. Just Google it. What causes my insecurities? Like I told y'all one time, I was insecure about teaching, like giving discipline to a student, all this different stuff. So some of this stuff you'll be thinking, oh my God, I don't have any of these isms. And it's like, but that made you uncomfortable. So that's an insecurity. So it's like, sometimes you got to go back and look at that. So when we look at the first socialization, Actually, you have, if you're looking at because I really, what I'm going over, y'all, I'm sorry, it's the cycle of socialization, and that was in idea 3. So if you go back, you can still look it up. It's by who created it? Bobby Harrow. So in the beginning, you born, and it's like nothing else. You born. So when stuff starts happening, is when people start teaching you what you're doing, what you don't do. And I'm thinking my culture, so it's like y'all can't sway me. Like, I don't eat other people's soul food. You cannot sway me out of my culture. You see what I'm saying? Even if I marry somebody and it's your mama's, unless she Patty LaBelle, I'm not touching the soul food. Unless she's Sweetie Pie, I'm not touching the soul food. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It's like some people, they just not clean cooks. And so I remember I was with Marcus, and he just thought that I would eat his food because he cooked it. And it's like, no, you're not a clean cook. So it's like, I don't want to eat that shit because I'm sorry, you'll make me sick. Like, I'm not that type of person. I got a sensitive stomach, all this stuff. I don't want to eat your food. So that's it. So the cycle of socialization is like, in the beginning, again, no blame, no bias, stereotype, prejudice, none of that. You don't have any information. When you get to start to be socialized, that's when people are teaching you different things. So it's like, if somebody taught you something, then, like I told y'all, I had an issue with superstition for Indians, because they don't really have a superstition. It's just law with life. And then for Black people. And so my grandmother would always make everything negative. But in the Indian culture, it's positive. Y'all see what I'm saying? So it's like a dual situation. And so what I found out was most of the superstitions that had to deal with money were true. But if it's a superstition of negativity, it wasn't. Because if I look at it as an Indian person, Native American person, not Indian, Native American person, it would be actually a positive thing that was happening. So that was it. It's like, that's why. But then I found out that for spirits and demons and all that stuff is all the same situation, and it's all the same, that is true. So it's like, that's something else I had to get over. Like, a lot of people don't have to deal with that, but I had to deal with that. So it's like, that's something else. It was like, I had one person teach me one thing, and I had my grandmother teaching me something else. Dreams and stuff like that, my grandmother teach us that too, and that was true. Like, some of those things are really true. So that's something else I had to look at too. What else? The first 6. What social norms am I questioned about? I used to have a lot of people questioning me as a vegetarian or a vegan, like what I'm eating. And so, do I feel a certain way about it? Yes, the fuck I did. I hated that shit. Like, I hate when people, what you eating? I'm like, do you want to taste it? And I don't mean it in a mean way. I would want you to taste it so you can see that it's good. So then people be like, nah, that shit nasty. But you just had green beans and mashed potatoes. You see what I'm saying? We having the same thing. Only thing is, I'm going to put some cheese on there. I'm going to put some vegan cheese on mine. I'm going to season it up because I'm not eating any meat. When I do a mashed potatoes, I'm going to keep a whole potato because I need to eat the skin, because I need all the nutrition, all this different. So you see what I'm saying? So it's like, they questioning me about my food, and it's like, it's really pissing me off because we really, both of us eating, and we eat the same shit, whether you think it is or not. You see what I'm saying? Only thing is, I got to put a little more something in mind because I need a little more protein, or I need a little energy. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, I eat more fruits and all that stuff. So it'll be like, don't question me about my food. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, even that gave me like issues a lot of times. So like, when it comes to stuff like that, I really don't want to share. I want to sit down and eat. So it's like, I hate being in spaces where I have to explain and shit to people. So it made me feel like, yeah, y'all racist or foodist or whatever, but it's just like, it's not something that everybody don't do. You see, what values cause me concern? I don't really have any values that sexual values cause me concern. I'm just not that, I'm open about sex, but I'm not open to have sex with everybody. And so that makes me like uncomfortable too. Is that my insecurity, or is it somebody else's? It's theirs. You understand? It's not mine. It has nothing to do with me. It doesn't, the way you see me does not have anything to do with me. So sometimes when you go through this stuff, you'll be like, if you really going through an issue where you just feel like this, oh my God, I'm at odds about this, and it was my fault and all this different stuff, that's when you can start be like, fuck that. Fuck that. My value is up here and yours is down here. Fuck you. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, that's another reason why you go through it. What negative models had an impact on my personality? a lot of people, like y'all see the Marlboro Man, like a lot of people that were smoking and got cancer, all that stuff, it was because of the Marlboro Man. I think the government should have paid them. If it's somebody that's alcoholic, y'all need to be fucking paid. I'm not playing. The way they were pushing cigarettes and all that stuff in that day and age, then I'm like, fuck y'all. Y'all need to pay them. They had women all around the house in house coats. Those cigarettes stink. Why would I be in my house coat, in my house smoking cigarettes? Like, it is like the nastiest, most disgusting thing I have ever seen in my life. Like, it's like, and weed stink too. So it's like some of that weed smells straight up like ass, and y'all just be smelling like booty or doo-doo. It's like y'all don't care. So it's like, if that was the situation where you didn't got lung cancer, you in the hospital dying, and they didn't help you, the government put you on the shit. You see what I'm saying? And so they make pretty cigarette cases, and you can now roll them up and all this stuff. Fuck y'all. Like, the government need to be paying y'all. What are my dreams and their sources? So that's the other thing. Like, I just want to end with that positive note, because sometimes, even though the people have a negative impact on you, you can also have people that have a positive impact on you. And so let's talk about, I'm going to bring up another negative one, but then it ended up being positive. It's like when Snoop said he went and hung out with a pimp or something like that, and he ended up just hating. He never wanted to be a pimp again. He glorified this pimp because he thought, oh my God, that motherfucker cool. I'm going to be a pimp too. So Shante let him go and be with the pimp and hang out with the pimp, all this different stuff. And Snoop was just like, I don't want to do people like that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, that helped him too, whether he knew it or not. That's probably why he's a better businessman too. So it's like, he ended up being a businessman. So it's like he's seen this man like he the coolest motherfucker out there because he got money and a car and all this and the women. And it's like he just really didn't realize that's not his personality. Even though he idolized him, it's like Snoop found out, wait a minute, I'm a businessman too. I got the money and the cars. You see, I can get the money and the cars. And I'm going to make, you see what I'm saying? So that actually probably moved him into being who he is today. So that was just a personality thing. It's like, that is not his personality. His personality is more of how he is, a family person. You see what I'm saying? He there for the support of his family. So that was the difference in what it was. But he saw all of that in one person. You see what I'm saying? Everything that he idolized was really what he really was himself. So that's how it is. It's like, where did that source of my dream come from? You think it's coming from a negative place, but Snoop flipped it around and made it into something positive. So next, I hope he is a billionaire. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I don't know how old Snoop is, but I promise you, I want him to be a billion fucking-er. Because that man, I say black and all this stuff. He don't even speak about color for real. Like, he don't speak about racism. Snoop really is just Snoop Dogg. It's like, if you really want some content where it's just this way, and it's like, it's not something that he'll say it, but it's not something he constantly dwelling on and all that different stuff. It's like, sometimes black people just want to sit and talk. We don't want to talk about, oh, these black people held me back and this, you know what I'm saying? It's like, some people want to just sit down and just be a business person. Sometimes I just want to sit down and be a woman. Sometimes, you see what I'm saying? It's like, we don't want to always think about what culture we are, where we came from. That's not something that we always want to discuss. So when I said, I was like, yeah, I think that's cool. Like, I think that it's dope that he does that. So he just really does like kind of delve into different cultures and different things like that. And I love it. And I think that was something that they probably did give for me too. But I'm not going to say it as a negative thing because he used it like it's so positive and he like good with it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. I think that's just something dope that I really do appreciate about him. Institutional and cultural socialism. So that's another situation. It's like you want to start to look at what reinforced or bombarded these messages. So like what I said with the cigarettes and the drinking and stuff, that was TV. It was movies, television. You have churches, schools, television, legal system, mental health, medicine, business. Like, some black people don't want to go and get help. They always think that having a psychiatrist or a therapist is horrible for you. It's not. And that's older black people, because we know now we need somebody to talk to outside of our family. Because you just be like, bitch, this is not, no. Mama, this not working. You see what I'm saying? That whole, well, you ain't gonna say this to me and talk. That's mama, that ain't working. You see what I'm saying? Mama, that ain't gonna get us nowhere. You gonna get your ass beat before you die. You see what I'm saying? Like that's the shit. That's where we get to now, because ain't nobody gonna sit in no kitchen and die for you because you want to be ignorant. And if you are, you gonna still be a lifeless bitch. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It's like y'all gotta really start paying attention. Cultural practices, song lyrics, language, media, patterns of thought. So see, like they would have been like, maybe 2 Live Crew influenced Snoop to do that too, or something like that because of the music, or whatever. It's like, that's it. Like, it probably not, but still, it's just like, that's what you have to look at. Did that reinforce me to do this? The next is like the enforcements. Was it enforced, sanctioned? Like that's the law. Stigmatized. Maybe it was something in school and people just kept making you want to do that. Like being pregnant. You know what I'm saying? People used to act like being pregnant was the worst thing to do in high school and college. When she get out, shit, her and her son or her daughter can open up a fucking business. Y'all can go on with that. Or they got married and they be on trips. We still out here talking about my baby needs some milk. They out there in the fucking Caribbean with their kids kicking it. Talking about we gonna live here for 3 years. You see what I'm saying? It's like, that's it. It's like all that stuff sometimes is too much. Rewards and punishments. Did they reward me for being a negative person or being a bully or whatever? Privilege. Did they give me privilege for it? Persecution, discrimination, empowerment. All those things, like those are enforcements. That's like, okay, well, this is what I did. So it results in dissonance. Like if this is something that's not checked, you see what I'm saying? If this stuff keeps going on and on, like I check myself before I wreck myself. But if Snoop just continues to be a pimp, it could result in dissonance. He has a big name in the music industry. You see what I'm saying? It's just disharmonious. He'd just be like, beat the bitch. It'll result in silence. He can do interviews like, nah, after this show, we raping you. They just sitting there looking stupid. It can result in anger, dehumanization, guilt, collusion. You see what I'm saying? If some of this stuff goes unchecked, this is what happens. Ignorance, self-hatred. When you don't want to like your hair. You know what I'm saying? My hair, I love my hair, y'all. Stress, lack of reality. Horizontal violence, which means workplace bullying, inconsistency, violence, crime, internalization patterns of powers like exploitation, marginalization, powerlessness, cultural imperialism, violence. So all this stuff, that's something that can happen if you don't check it. You see what I'm saying? But if you do check it and you want to change, what are you going to do when you change it? How do I raise consciousness about it? How do I interrupt the process of negativity? Can I educate myself and teach others? How do I take a stand? What questions do I need to ask to get answers? Will it stop my change if the questions are not answered? How do I reframe my situation? So if no action is taken, the cycle continues to negatively impact socialization. You'll just be part of the status quo and it'll just be repeated. And that's what the cycle is. So the cycle is actually directing you to get out to make a direction of change. And so then we look at the grieving process. I got to go back and highlight the words, but denial, bargaining, anger. What else was it? Denial, bargaining, anger, depression, and then acceptance. So that's it. That's all it is. So that's what chapter 4 is. It's just like, okay, now that I've been through this, like, what is it? That's my problem. And don't sit there and just be like, because I'm not perfect either. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, oh, I don't have a problem. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I really do. I'm just not going to be a sexual being that they need me to be, or I'm not about to kiss their ass or anything. It's just, that's it. Like, sometimes that's just how it is. That's just how it's going to be. Anyway, that's it. It's Shante Brown Sugar talking to Black Unicorns, telling you guys to have a great day.